Welcome back to the 2022 World Team Table Tennis Championship Finals here in Chengdu, China. I'm your commentator, Fraser Riley, and I'm absolutely delighted now to be accompanied by Michael Anderson, the current ITTF Group Sports Director. Michael, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Always fun to jump in here once in a while and provide some commentary with you.
Fantastic. And we just saw Chengdu overcome Ivy Liu in 3 straight games. Good performance there from the player from Team Canada. Now we have Sun Yingsha, Sha as she's known and beloved by the Chinese fans, up next against Krista Liu. Michael, what is it that impresses you so much about the game of Sun Yingsha?
I think she's such a versatile player. I mean, she can do everything and has such a touch on the ball and smooth technique, and you know, she got everything. In my opinion, one of the absolute best players in the world, and kind of a favorite player of mine as well.
Oh, nice. That's nice to hear. She's so explosive, isn't she? The power that she has. I think the difference between the men and women's game is becoming less obvious, especially with the Chinese, the way they turn the corner, play the forehand down the line, etc.
Especially the physicality involved to stay so close to the table with so quick reactions, you know, the core strength and the upper body strength that you need to, you know, to support your technique all the time so quick in close table, and the way they also play the angles, you know, it's absolutely fantastic.
It's amazing.
They use the whole table and, you know, so precise with their shot making, so it's actually an absolute delight to watch them play.
It really is, and you always wonder who can possibly challenge them, who could overthrow them in terms of the Chinese dominance. The world number 1 on screen here on the right in red, of course, the famous Chinese colour. And we have Krista Liu here, only 15, so not so much pressure. I mean, you think of Sun Yingsha as a young player, but still a cadet here, Krista Liu. What would you be looking to do if you were her here against the world number 1? It's very obviously difficult.
Could be one of the more difficult matches in the world of sports this year, actually, yeah. to try to overcome Sun Yingsha, but it's you know, super important for her, obviously, to try to just find a rhythm and play.
Right, no pressure, no pressure. You can see the highest world ranking of 1,030 for Krista Liu. An opportunity here. I think if there's one thing she can be looking to take out of this match, it is to try and play freely and give Sun Yingsha something to think about from time to time. It'd be nice to see.
It's all about confidence too, to try to get into the match, and hopefully you can get a feeling for some rallies in the beginning, so I guess that's her confidence builder in a way, to just feel that she can play with her in the rallies.
Absolutely. So about to begin now. Players have played corner to corner, cross court to cross court, both right-handed attacking players. And this is, of course, Group 1 with China as the top seed. It's a group of death here in Group 1, actually really, really strong. We have the United States at number 2, Puerto Rico with the Diaz sisters at 3rd, and Malaysia, who took out India at the Commonwealth Games, sitting as bottom seeds here in Group 1. So very, very tough. And we'll see how she gets on here. So already you can see the compact backhand of Sun Yingsha.
Takes the ball also extremely early after bounce, so that gives the opponent very little time to react, and you get the kicking topspin in the ball, so very tough to find the rhythm.
Definitely. And a human moment there as she misses the 3rd ball attack. Just sitting there, she was throwing it slightly backwards and maybe hiding it a bit with her chest. Two 3rd ball mistakes that you'd expected to make there, Sun Yingsha.
Always nerves, you know, first match anyway in a World Championships, despite the level, and how good you are, then you're always a little nervous in the beginning. So
right. More characteristic of Xia there. Crystal Liu definitely doesn't want to go to the backhand exchange with Sun Yingsha. I think the spin is going to be important here. You can't really match her at her own game. You've got to try and throw in something different, vary things. I know you work very closely, of course, with the Swedish national team, and you are the masters of varying things.
Yeah, it could be difficult also against the opponents like this, but obviously you have to play, because the thing is, if you do hold the same tempo in the ball, they never miss, more or less.
No.
So you can see the matches between the Chinese also top players where they always search for that slower ball or faster ball exactly at the right moment. So
right. And the players that we've seen beat the Chinese national team members in the past, in the men and women's game, in the men's game, you think players like Timo Boll, who vary things so much, and Jano Evoldner, of course, legends as well, who can vary things up.
4, 3-5.
Calling a service there, I think it's the left arm that has to be out of the way, and pointed out. And it's also tricky with the service rule. The players always trying to find a way to do as close to the rules as possible all the time.
Absolutely.
Find a limit sort of, and
yeah, it makes a big difference if you can do it as close to the foul serve as possible. You see it, and of course the umpires have different kind of strictness levels on that. As long as the umpire's consistent with the call and you can't criticise them for what they're doing here.
But I'm impressed by this 15-year-old. She, at least on the backhand side, you see a good wrist action and hits the ball quite cleanly. So far she's been starting up very well.
You can't really fault the technique there of Crystal Liu. Nice and compact, staying low, wide base, on the toes.
Also the depth of the balls of Sun Yingsha is so deep in the tables, probably not used to that sort of quality on the balls. So
right,
you got caught there a little bit. But as you said, good technique, good fine backhand technique.
And that was nice as well. Good quality on the push, good depth on that as well. You can't afford to give anything too loose. If it's a push, it has to be deep, back spinny. That was good length on there. And she contained the spin. And Sun Yingsha goes for that signature kind of fanning forehand, fading across the side. Doing remarkably well in this first game. Changing to the backhand serves now. Wow! Copes with that blistering pace.
That's a name to put right up here in your mind already. 15 years old playing like that. I mean, with no fear whatsoever.
Definitely. You see, even Sun Yingsha was surprised with that.
Let 6-7. 7-0.
Well, I never. I mean, we saw Wang Chuqin drop a game in the men's team match against Puerto Rico. Could we see it here? Sun Yingsha, for a long time in the junior career, has been the mixed doubles partner of Wang Chuqin. She is the former youth Olympic champion, Sun Yingsha.
7-8.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you were a betting man and you bet on Crystal Liu to win the first game, you'd be making a small fortune.
Probably the odds are quite high. I don't know if the stakes are high, but the odds are pretty good.
Ooh.
8-all.
So finally, literally an almost unreturnable edge.
But let's see now, it's also a little unusual with backhand service. Underestimated absolutely among many players. It's completely different. Also long backhand service can be tricky to read,
Yeah. And the advantage of the backhand service, you can see everything that's happening in front of you as you serve. Whereas if you do the pendulum serve, you're stood to the side, so not as visible your opponent when you're making that service. an opportunity with the backhand. Sun Yingsha changed the speed though, didn't she?
Ball bounce was quite high also. She couldn't really push it down. So, but good try. Not out of it yet.
Still there on the receive. 2 game points though to Xia. And she does it, a ripping backhand there, does the trick.
Chengdu China.
Sun Yingsha contested though.
Absolutely, Crystal Liu did a fantastic game here, opening game in this match, and you see that signature shot of that backhand just kicks away. So
she can take a bit of pressure off herself now as well, because even if she lost the next 2 games, say 11-3, 11-3, she can be proud that she's got 8 there against Xia.
absolutely.
We'll see though if Xia becomes more accustomed to the style. She's obviously the more the match goes on, the more you obviously favour Sun Yingsha, because she's going to become more used to the backhand serves, and maybe she'll become more relaxed with the surroundings here in Chengdu at the High Tech Sports Centre.
都是换个发球，不能老发这个球，换一发就发了。
这是我发的。
But Crystal Liu here is only one of many North American good young players actually for the moment coming up all over North America, United States, Canada. A lot of Asian coaches, well recognized, many young students, players playing on a daily basis. So obviously challenges will come later when you try to enter the professional circuit and so on, because it's a tough challenge. But on the youth side, absolutely, you see up and coming, very skillful players.
Yeah, you expect them to go from strength to strength in future, and they're not short of any infrastructure in Canada or the United States. So yeah, I'm sure this is a sign of things to come here with this 15-year-old. She plays a backhand clean winner down the line against Xia, and the players and coaches smiling beneath their mask there.
Can we give her 11 points for that one in the game?
It was worth it, I tell you. Wow, she burned Xia. Wrong footser.
Too low.
You can't help but smile there. You really can't. Bit of lucky net as well, that'll always help.
2-1.
I'm thinking almost the opposite of a mercy rule. You take the game right away. Maybe the sports director can do anything. He can change the rules as well. So
yeah,
we'll think about that.
Imagine that. I know in ping pong, which we sometimes play in England, hosted at the Alexandra Palace, there's a double point ball. That's the most different thing I think we could see to this. But still, speaking of double points, she's 2 ahead. I expected, I don't know about you there, Mike, but I expected more pace coming in, but it was slow and spinnier. Control the contact point of those tacky Chinese rubbers, produce a lot of spin.
No, 2 times forehand, difficult to defend against, but she's not afraid and has a pretty quick reaction. You see that with many young players, so many times they build their game on or training method of a lot of multi-balls, and they get quick hand-eye, which you see many young players who start early in the career. They can pick the ball up very quickly with their eye and adjust the hand.
Multi-ball's a really, really good way to improve the number of hours you're actually training per day as well, because if you're training open sessions, you're picking the ball up, you're spending a lot of time going back to the barrier to collect the balls. Multi-ball, it's a much more effective and efficient way. Say you've got a 2-hour session to be training more time in that session. And as you say, it's really helped with the reactions, lateral movements. For anyone new to table tennis, definitely go on YouTube and type in top Chinese multi-ball.
Unleashing now some power shots,
Yeah.
which of course is the skill they have, and maybe also feeling a little bit more better timing, you know, come out to the center court, no space, lights, and it's a competition setting and so on, so takes some time.
27.
She's stamping her authority on this match now, the world number one. And the Zhaoying Chinese fans are going to be absolutely delighted with it. She's definitely adding oil to these shots.
Showing a good touch game too on the short one. Maybe not as the physicality is not there to move out quickly enough, but she's in there with the ball and touching the ball nicely, showing a lot of technical skills actually.
Let 4-7.
And she has the grip right as well, Crystal Lu. You see sometimes in a lot of European players, they might have the finger a little bit too high, which can limit the backhand slightly. Although it's good for the forehand and good for the serves. I'm not criticising him at all, but I remember a Swedish player now, Per Gurell, some of the best serves, and he had his finger really high when he played.
9-4.
Obviously you see Yingsha also moving the service more into the middle, which makes it. She's very backhand position, Crystal Lu, when she's receiving. So obviously not fast enough to take the kick service to the middle and create some problem to fend away the returns.
14.
An absolute peach. Picks it out, eats it up. Too good there. An absolute whirlwind of a forehand.
11-4.
And despite the
Game to
great
China.
hand skills you mentioned to Crystal Lu, Sun Yingsha seals the deal 11-4. A bit more of a one-sided affair, although we saw some great rallies, especially the first rally there. That was incredible with that winner down the line. So we'll see what happens in game 3 after a short break.
Time.
直接给到他正手没问题，怕他侧身
6。
晃你了，这样会。
发就发开了，落点了。
Well, Michael, I'm impressed, you're impressed. Crystal Lu showing good promise here, the 15-year-old.
You can feel also when you're listening into the coaching from the Canadian side,
Level.
or you were watching the coaching, that they were quite satisfied as well. So they gave some words of encouragement when she stepped out to the court for his third game.
It's great to see, and I mean, she's what an opportunity. She's here. CCTV are going to be covering this table. A lot of Chinese fans are going to be tuning in, and they're going to be aware of this 15-year-old now. She can take a lot of confidence from this.
1 out.
We've seen that a couple of times. She goes into the middle, opens backhand, and then very quick in her, let's say, backhand side footwork, moving very quickly out to the backhand position again. So that's a good quality to look for in her game.
Definitely.
2-1.
If she's going to develop a little bit more and become a little bit more aggressive earlier, she'll want to practice the step around. But she's still young, you know, she's not as particularly developed as Xia.
But you see Sun Yingsha also now using stepping around forehand, can open backhand, so complete as a player. You know, there's not really any weaknesses in her game. Could be the service then, service technique. Umpire obviously doesn't like it.
Yeah, second time she's been faulted now, Xia. Every little helps for Crystal Liu.
2-3.
There's something to work with for Crystal there with the forehand opening. Dropped the ball a little bit too much. And
Yeah, timing a little bit too late, would you say? Only option then is to play up, isn't it, rather than go through. That was a good serve, though. That would have surprised me.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sha saw it coming. And the ability to play the forehand from the middle into the pocket, you know, incredible to make the space there. That little minor adjustment makes a huge difference. Wow.
You see again, short forehand, long backhand. Obviously standing up very well in that positioning, special positioning there.
It's a clever tactical move there, isn't it? Baiting Sun Yingsha in, taking her out the other way. Not a tall player, Sun Yingsha, so moving her around is a good tactic. You just fear for Crystal Liu, though. As soon as you see Sun Yingsha step and play that forehand, you just have to brace for impact. But she keeps her bat high on the block. It's the right technique. Just maybe the racket isn't closed and the time is just a little bit late.
All the skills in the world to become a pretty good player in when the opponent is attacking, which is unusual today. A lot of players are one-way players. Crystal Liu clearly showing that she can take a few blocks even from a top player. So really a confidence builder. Hopefully there will be matches in this World Championships much easier than this one. So.
Yes. If she can play well in this one and she can take this into other matches, she stands a chance against pretty much anyone else.
And also you have to love that sort of respect for the coach, nodding and really, you know, ambitious enough to be there to learn. And you know, this is also sometimes forgotten in the World Team Championships, actually, to see young players coming up and getting the opportunity of quality matches against good players. So you know, give her 4 years or something to World Team Championships to give me a good player for Canada in the first division.
Definitely, definitely.
7-3.
Got some very strong young players here in Chengdu. It's interesting to see. I mean, Japan men's team very young, the women's team, the Lebrun brothers for France, the Diaz sisters, the Takahashi sisters, some very young players.
8-3.
Everywhere you look.
I think a lot of teams taking the opportunities to try young players, which is absolutely correct. And this is also one of the, you know, positives part with the World Team Championships, that you can build a volume of matches through. So
it's so important, isn't it? You see some countries who focus so much on their older players. When they retire, you then don't have anyone to fill their position. You've got to constantly be investing in the future.
Exactly, and that's also why the World Team Championships has a strong position in the table tennis world community, or whatever you call it, because it is an important event.
Yeah, absolutely. Nearly double happiness there for Sha. Would have been salt in the wounds. Narrowly misses the back edge. Crystal Liu showing fighting ability, good mental strength as well. She doesn't look like the kind of player that's going to be easily phased. Haven't seen her drop to head.
Focus level is almost second to none, actually, because it's really showing that she's focused, she's there to compete.
9-5.
Two away now, the world number one, Sun Yingsha, thriving here in China. just an orchestra of quality. As adorable as she is, she packs a punch.
11-5.
And she's done it.
Game and match.
Game
to
and match to
China.
Sun Yingsha. Some laughs there from the Chinese benches, but respect between the two. And Sun Yingsha has given her team, China, a 2-0 lead. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, and it was very nice to see such a young, good player.
Absolutely. Well, Adam Bobrow will be joining us back in the commentary box now. And we'll resume with the third match of this tie after a short break. Confirmation of the score here. Xia, the world #1, overcoming Crystal Liu, the spirited and talented 15-year-old player. 8-4.